am here in behalf of Mandy. I'm happy to welcome you to our first webinar focused on crew members, organized by Mandy and Rossscammm Films Marketing, called How to Promote Your Film. Thank you very much, Rosa, for hosting the session. And thank you for your time. It's really a pleasure to have you here. I just want to tell you all that everyone submitted questions for this webinar. Most of the questions are going to be answered during the webinar, and obviously there's going to be also time afterwards to ask questions. I just also wanted to add that it's really exciting to have you all here because it's going to be a really international crowd. So we have people joining from the UK, from USA, from Canada, from Europe. I think also someone from Australia. So, and I know that it's really hard right now to network. So afterwards, we're gonna create a forum on Monday where you can all kind of join in and share your contacts or your ideas or just network and meet each other, because I know that right now you will most likely just listen to Rosa. Now let me just shortly introduce our host. So Rosa Camero is a founder and CEO of Rossscammm Films Marketing. She helps clients from across the world grow their projects internationally and teaches courses on digital marketing, branding, film distribution and promotion. With 12 years of experience working in the film industry, Rosa has organized international events and press campaigns for a multitude of films, as well as participating in the releases of more than 100 films, which include the Twilight Saga, The Impossible, Divergent, and more. Rosa also founded the Facebook community Women in the Film Industry, which has over 900 members. So this is all about Rosa. And now over to you, Rosa. It's yours.
Thank you so much, Petra. It sounds so nice when someone else is introducing. It's like, really? Did I did all that? Thank you, everyone, for being here. Well, you can use the chat if you want to start a little bit sharing where you're based, where you're connecting. It's really interesting always to see how many countries are we in this room. I'm going to start sharing my screen. If you have any questions, you can just pop it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and then just ask. So I'm going to share my screen. Do you see my screen? I guess you do, because I don't see you.
Yes.
I hope, yeah. Okay, perfect. Okay, so today we are going to talk about marketing and films and promotion and all that that amazing work that you have to do when you have a film. And somebody said that it's like the dirty work, because not a lot of filmmakers, they like this part of the job of being of having a film, that it's actually marketing, finding the target, preparing the film. So I couldn't have done it better than Petra, that she introduced me. But I'm gonna talk a little bit more about myself. Well, I'm Rosa, and you already know the company. I am originally from Mexico. I am based in Copenhagen, but I started my business in 2016 in Madrid, Spain. So my background comes from, I have always been a film marketer. So my first job as a professional was in a film distribution company, like a really important one in Mexico. And the great part about having that job was that I joined the company just after 8 months that actually the company was founded. So I started as a marketing assistant. So it was really cool because I grew with the company. So I was a marketing assistant, then I was a promotion coordinator, and then I was a PR manager. And then from there, I met at the time my boyfriend, Danish boyfriend, and now is my husband, and we moved to Madrid. And then I had like a career crisis. I wanted to go back to the film industry. I sent I sent tons of CVs. Nobody answered. Everybody said the film industry is really hard. But well, a couple of friends, they say, okay, if you want to come back to the film industry, just do your thing and see what happens. So that's what I did, and I started as a film distributor consultant. But my first one of my first clients was Cinepolis. That's one of the biggest exhibitors in the world. And I started distributing actually films in cinemas for 2 years, and we found a great gap there, that filmmakers don't care about marketing, or they don't take into account marketing. All the budget goes into the film, into the producing the film, but then after you finish the film, you don't know what to do with the film, and then you forget about marketing, selling the film. Like the crew just jumps from one project to the other, and then that film just gets forgotten. So we found out that that was really important. It was really important to actually educate and do more with marketing, because that's the way you actually sell yourself and sell your film. So I want you to introduce yourself. Like I cannot see you, and we are, oh, I don't know how many we are right now. But then you can just put it in the chat. Also, that's a good way for you to start interacting with each other and getting to know each other. So tell me about yourself. Why are you here, and what do you expect from this workshop? So maybe you can just share a little bit, and then we can read. Petra, if you can read some of them when they start introducing, like maybe 3 or 4.
Okay, so usually people just say, how I'm from here, and so for example, Blaze, hi everyone, I'm Blaze from London, currently self-distributing an LGBTQ plus documentary feature. That's the last one. Or Amigdal, hi everyone, North Orange Country, California here, moving to LA soon. Another one. Hi, I'm Dylan Bishop from Los Angeles. Just finished a movie called Terror Eyes. We have a small distributed and release for June. Carver Derson's producer based in Los Angeles who love making film with no knowledge or expertise in marketing distribution have a small company feature that I'm trying to shoot in April.
Okay, well, that's great. So it'll keep introducing yourself. Do you want to read another one, Petra?
Yeah, there is one more. Hi, I'm Angie in London, UK. I'm currently working on my limited drama series. We are in pre-production and was wondering how to start promoting it already. I suppose the sooner the better.
Yes, and you're completely right. I have been hearing this question lately, like so often. They ask me, like, when should I start thinking about marketing? And yes, the sooner the better. Some people, I mean, we have had clients that they're already thinking in their target, even though they're not the producers, when they're selling their script, for example. So this is where we start our workshop, is where do I start? Like, how can, like, so many options, so many things, so many channels. And just with social media, you get overwhelmed, because we have so many ways to start promoting. The first thing is mindset. We have to be aware that your film is not for everyone. I have heard, like, again and again and again, like, even really experienced producers, they say our film is for everyone, or our film is for this target, but also it's made for the, like, all. That's not true. That's impossible. Not even the big studio films or movies, they are made for everyone. Like, we are different, and we have different interests. So we kind of make, or we kind of like in the marketing, when we're doing marketing for a film, we kind of like divide the films in a way that is like different boxes, so the people, you kind of know, you more or less know which people is attracted to which film. And after you already thought about, okay, my film is not for everyone, who is my target? So now you have to think about your target. Who is that audience? Who is that? You can think, no, like, because we think about an audience and we think like a lot of people, a bunch of people, but a target, it can be also it can also be as a persona. It can be one person that it can just love your film and actually get to talk about your film and attract more people to your film. So what the goal when having a target is having that audience or that target that is willing to talk about your film and generate that word of mouth. That's the most important. So it's really, really, so it's really important that you know who is your target, because it's not the same talking to a kid. If, for example, if you have a kid, if you have films for children, it's not the same talking to a kid, even their kids. Like, it's not the same talking to a kid that is 3 years old or 4 than someone that is a little bigger, maybe 7 or 8. So I heard that someone has a horror film. So for horror films, it is a really specific target, but also, but actually the horror people around the world is really like, it's a really good community, because they're really loyal. They're really like, they follow up the films. They find, I mean, if they really like the horror, they find the films. I don't know how they do it, but it's like, actually you have a film, a horror film, and people who likes horror films, they will support your film. Obviously, if it's a good film and they like it, they will promote it, and they will start this word of mouth. So also, if you have a documentary, people who like documentaries, most of the times is people who is educated, like highly educated, like maybe they have university, they have a master's degree or PhD, because they're worried or they have more conscious about what is going on in the world. And so documentaries for people is like a niche, a very specific niche. So that's why sometimes documentaries don't travel that much. So for example, in Europe, documentary has a huge market. So Europeans that really like documentaries, you can sell it. You can sell it. I'm not gonna say easily, but you have more chances to sell a documentary in Europe, not for example in America. Or Latin America. I even remember in Mexico, my boss just to say, we don't bring documentaries, even though they're really good, because they don't make money. So, but I think that's different in Europe, also depending on the channel. And here we are. We enter to the marketing plan. All the films need to have a marketing plan. So today, actually, I had a talk this morning to students, and they are actually studying filmmaking, and they asked me, what is the most important when you're promoting a film? And the most important is to have a plan. Like, you don't know if it's going to work or it's not going to work, but all the films that had a marketing plan, they're more eager to succeed than the ones that don't have. So it's like super important that you know, like with this marketing strategy, this marketing plan, you are going to know who are you selling your film to, and how are you going to sell it. So how are you going to sell to them? So first, like, who are you selling your film to? That's your target that we talked already about it. And also, how are you going to sell to them? So you have the target already. You know who are you talking to. So then the marketing ideas flow. So it's like, okay, I know this is my target. In this case, we're gonna take as an example someone who has a horror film, and we already know the target. Okay, this is a person who likes horror films, women and men, Maybe they are in the middle between 20s, 30s. Um, they like probably, I don't know why, but I believe this person likes like metal or rock, or is like a little darky. It could be maybe maybe you are in the audience just say I like horror films and I'm not like that. But it's like this is just an example of how to just be really specific on the target. So we're going from really specific to general. And then from there that you have the persona, you like how I'm going to find this audience, how I'm going to sell this film to them. So first you need to find them, what they like what are the interests. So now, then after that you have all these ideas or marketing ideas. So maybe this audience is not that present in Facebook. Everyone is on Facebook, right? But then you find those Facebook groups that were like horror people and people who is like willing to watch this kind of things, this kind of movies. You go and find them there. Or there's like I don't know if there's a social media or there's like forums where they actually go and have them talk about films. Probably there. I mean, right now it's social medias for everything. So and then from there, this is what I'm explaining you. This is the way we do it in Rossscammm. This is the way we do it in that. This is our process, or this is the way we work with our clients, and that's the way we have working for. I mean, a long time, but also all the films that I have promoted that that has been a lot. There been we always have a marketing plan. I mean that's something that you cannot miss, and especially well the bigger. Obviously the budget is bigger as well, and also they're more they come from a studio and they come and tell you where is your marketing plan because I need to see it, and they even approve it. So that's really interesting. And in Rossscammm we have this a strategy that is called a storytelling strategy. And we call it that way because it's like we focus on the story. But the traditional marketing, they use the story of the film. Like what is the film? What is the story, your synopsis, your characters. But this is only the story. Because you are independent filmmaker, and I know it's hard making a film and then selling it, it's also hard. So what is the story behind the story? So people in the people who is like actually following you, these are nice things to hear, not only the story but like how long it take you to actually produce a film, like how do you manage to find the crew, how do you manage to like raise the money, how do you manage to like all these little details of them maybe for you that are like really normal from people from outside, and actually your target and the one that you are trying to convince that this is a good film, probably they would like to hear these kind of things. And this storytelling strategy becomes content for your social media. So that way you're not sharing the same content again and again and again. But you kind of start with a story. So it's like it's a point where your marketing plan will be starting with the storytelling strategy and then ending with whatever you decide. Probably is the release. So if it's the release of your film in the cinemas or in a video on demand platform or in the film festival. So when you a lot of people confuse distribution with distribution and film festivals. Film festivals is a way for you to get to know to for you to get to know your film. So other people get to know your film, but that's not the end of the road of your film. It shouldn't. That's like kind of the halfway. So that's where you find sales agents. That's where you find deals, TVs, also like film festivals, but also you need to go to film markets. So that's where actually the negotiations and actually your film can get picked for something for the distribution, the commercial distribution, not only the festivals. And we have a little exercise here. Share with me at least 5 marketing ideas that you have to promote your film. So I'll open the chat here.
I think people are right at the moment, but there has been a question. Is there any online resource to help build audience profiles?
I don't know what you mean with audience profiles, like finding your target or
like a database or data source.
Mm-hmm. No, now that I know that they can actually, you can put the film and then they can tell you what is your target or what is your audience.
Probably.
That's a really good idea, Blaise. Who knows? Maybe I'll just invent something like that. No, now that I know of.
So there are already some ideas. So first idea is trailers. Second idea is screening at universities. There is pay for interviews if you get a winner in the festivals. Another idea is create a website. Social media.
Yeah, I think all of them are really good ideas. They're really, and all of them probably you already have used it, or you know someone who already have done it. But here I'm gonna give you more than those ideas, because what happens in the filmmaking world when they do marketing, they think it's only social media. But when we talk about marketing, it's a lot more than that. We will focus in on the internet because that's the easiest way and the cheapest. That's the truth. But there's other ways as well. So we're going to with the second part, and the second part is how this is the technical creative process. So we already have, like, the first part is having all the strategies. So you have the strategies, you already answer the questions, you have your plan, you have already everything else on writing. So now is the time to implement. Now is the time to execute. So first, it's having a URL SEO, social media, building relationships, building community. We're gonna go for each one of them like really specific. This is just the summary. So we're gonna first we'll start with the URL and SEO. Why I didn't put a website? Because having a website, it's a really difficult job. And what is happening in with the, I don't know who started this trend of having profiles and having websites for each one of the projects they have. So the thing about digital marketing, and this is the truth, and I've been doing digital marketing for the last 5 years, it's building a brand on the internet is really, it takes time. It takes a lot of time, and that's just building your SEO. Your SEO is search engine optimization. That's the name of the term used by search engines, and this is a way, for example, Google, like that. I'm sure everyone uses Google here. Picks content. So when you are looking for something, when you're looking for something on Google, then you will have like a bunch of content that shows up in that ranking. And this is proven. 99% of the people who go and look in Google, they don't go to the second page. So 99%. So I'm guilty. I also stay in the first page sometimes. So you don't go because you already found information. You don't go to the, and even when you search, you can even see there are millions and millions and millions of results. You don't go through all the results. You go like maybe 2 pages at the max. But it's proven that 99% of the people just search, when they search, they see only the first page of results. So why I don't recommend to have a website, because a website has that means a lot of work. So building a website, and then also what is happening, it's that project will be abandoned after 2 or 3 years that you already work with it, and you will jump another project, and that website, that also your social media profiles, they will get lost. I mean, you won't be doing any content for them anymore. So what happens is that you lose audience and you lose traffic to your website. So what I recommend, and what I And what film distributors do actually as well, and sales agents, because they have so many films, they cannot have a website for each one of the films they're selling. What they have a URL in their own website. So what they do, and here is the example here. So this is one of the last films we actually had the marketing strategy. This was a release in Spain, and actually we have, if you see on the top, we have the URL, and the most important is having the URL with the name of the film, and then you have all the information. So if you go to a website, you can see this landing page in films. So the most important is how can you put together a landing. So this is a page in your own website with SEO. The most important is having the keywords and having the name of the film, the title, and then that way it will position that title in Google or in search engines. That way you don't have to work like double or triple in different websites, but you have it all in one website. And then also you at the same time you are working in your brand, you're working in your own. If you have a production company, if you have personal brand, you depending if you're a persona, if you are a business, you're already working also in your brand, because the way the internet works, it's google google or the different channels, they put everything in one package, but you need to tell them what is in the package. So you have to give them like some hints. This is part of my brand. This is part of my brand. So instead of being like all the content all over the place, then you have it in one place. So that will be the SEO. And also, what happens when you have a website? That doesn't mean the website positions really well. And I have had the I have looked for films, and actually I haven't found the films, even though they have a website, because they're not positioned themselves with SEO, like correctly see SEO. They don't show up in the results. So that's why I definitely recommend that you have a landing a page, but also take into account the SEO, because that way you make sure that you are in the results. And then from there we jump into social media. So social media, like probably you have social media profiles for your projects. Again, I don't recommend this, because then that audience, you're losing that audience. So every time that you open a new profile, you're building an audience, and then that audience, it's gone. And we like from here we go to the storytelling strategy, because you are, even maybe your projects are different, but they're not really different from you, because they are your projects. So somehow they're related to you, and people likes to know who is behind the films, who is behind, like who is working. And then if you have this if you have your brand or you have your profiles, and then you have different profiles, so it's like they kind of know who is behind, but they don't know. And then you're building and you're working so hard in building an audience, because it is really difficult to grow an audience, and then and then the project ends, or you need to jump to another thing, and then that just audience just get lost. So what I recommend is not having lots of profiles. Um, that's not necessary. You can have from your production or from your personal brand. And if there's several production companies, like they did a co-production, just decide which one is going to actually do. Unless there's like some festival that you have a fund and they're giving you a grant, and then you need to open social media, especially for the film, then obviously, I mean, it also that can happen. So it is okay if they're telling you to do that. Use your social media to talk about your film. It doesn't matter if you have posted content before, repeat and repeat. Uh, Social media algorithms are built in a way that they skip content. So it's not that when you post in social media, you post on Facebook, that doesn't mean they all your friends get to see what you posted. That, I mean, the algorithm doesn't work that way. Only 4% of the people you're friends with in Facebook see the content that you post. Only 4%. If that's a personal profile, but if you are a Facebook page, because obviously Facebook wants you as a business, yeah, business page on Facebook. Obviously, Facebook what wants is that you pay ads. So it's like the less 1% of the people who follows your page, your business page on Facebook, would actually see your content. So it's, I mean, yes, that's really, it's really sad. So when you think you're posting a lot, so you're, actually the people, or the people who follows you doesn't see the content that you are actually sharing with them. And also what happens is that when you're talking about with films, with films is something nice, because actually, because everyone can talk about films, it's not that so algorithms don't hide so much this information. If you're talking about a business, then the algorithm will hide that post more. LinkedIn also is a really hard algorithm, so it's only 0.5% of the people who actually is connected to you will see the post, and it's like a snowball. So if you don't receive too much likes or interaction, your post will stop just showing to others. So that's the hard life of social media. So don't feel bad when you don't receive any likes or any comments or any interaction with your post. It's not, sometimes it's not even because they don't want to comment or like, because they didn't see it. And then number 3 of this presentation is building relationships. So you have a film, you want people to actually buy your film or give money for your film or watch your film, then you have to convince them. So you need to talk to people, engage on social media, and this is where you're building your target, you're building your audience, you're building that people who is actually following you. So you're already interacting with them. So you have to make easy for people to see and love what you do, or in this case will be love your film, and actually loving you. I mean, if they love what you're doing, probably they will support your film, probably they will buy your film, and probably they will look for your film, and they will talk about your film. So then they can decide to give you money. So interact, build that community, and then after you're building relationships, you build a community. So we have another small exercise, and how or where are the most likely ways you will promote your film.
Rosa, there was another question before. So from Simon, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like when I try to play the CEO game, I always lose to people who finance professionals to take care of their CEO. What has your experience been with this? Do you do your CEO yourself?
Yeah, we do SEO at Rossscammm. So we do the SEO, because I know it's really tricky. Like for example, we need to work in an SEO of a brand. We prefer to build the brand from the ground, and then we do this SEO with them, because it is tricky. So it's like I don't dare to touch SEO that someone else has done, because you don't. It's just there's so many technical things in the SEO that sometimes work really well from one industry, but maybe they won't work really well for, like for example, the film industry doesn't need like a lot of SEO, because there's not a lot of people doing it. So it's like it's really, I would say basic, or I would say like really, it's not like retail. Like retail, they use so many concepts, so many things that I don't even know, and I understand a lot about SEO. So so like all these technical things about SEO, you don't need them, because you're in the film industry, and the film industry is not doing it a lot. So if you do a little bit of SEO here and there, you will be fine. So it's not something that you have to. It it takes time to learn it. If you have the opportunity to work with someone, I think it's better. But yeah, I definitely I agree. It is tricky, and it is a game. And
So
okay,
with yeah, with the last question is so someone said, I will try and get it seen at a conference of interested professional with the Q&A afterwards. Or there is another one, promote on PS4 and Xbox platforms.
would like to like the first comment. I think it's something that you do. It's something. It's a really good idea, and I love events. I mean, I think that's the best way for you as a filmmaker get to know the people who are actually watching the film or who is interested in the film and interact with them. I think that's really cool, and that's a really good way to sell the film or to do like at least word of mouth. I think that's really good. With the promote on PS4 and Xbox, I would like to know what kind of film you have because yeah, it's this is really techy and this is really for gamers. So if you can elaborate more about your film, what kind of film do you have? And okay, so I think, okay, I can see, this is a really interesting question. I can see Orlando. Will agents and distributions companies will really look films online? Okay, so this is this is what happened to me when I was a distributor. I went to, I was distributing films and I was really new in the film industry in Spain. And I was looking for films. So I went to this film festival in Malaga. So it's a really important festival in Spain. And I went there, and because I didn't know a lot of people, and actually I went like a couple of days. So I said, okay, I'm gonna just watch the films that I'm interested, and then I'm gonna look for them on the internet, and because I want to find their contacts. So it's like me, naive. I thought that actually the films were on the internet. I couldn't find them. It was really difficult. I think I found one out of 10. So yes, film distributors and films agents they also use the internet and they actually do their research. I don't know how often, but that happened to me. So I'm pretty sure that happens to other people. Also, this is nothing to do with the film distribution, but this is also to do with grants. There's a big grant. I was collaborating with the BFI last year, and we were talking about personal branding. And one of the ladies there, she runs a fund in the UK, and then she said, "Yes, I do. Like when I receive the applications for the fund and the grant, this grant, I go and take a look at their websites. So for me, it's really important that they have a website, they have a story. So I want to know who is behind this film or behind this project, and I want to know their stories. So this is, I mean, this is someone who actually is running a fund and running a grant. So that it's important that you are on the internet. It's important that you have somewhere so they can find you and they can know you and they can know who you are and why are you applying for that fund or why are you looking for a sales agent. And then we talk about community. So after you are nurturing that target, your audience, you're like creating all this content, you are communicating with them, you are doing all these events, you are yeah, because you're nurturing, you want them to like your film, you want them to like you want them to support your work. So in the end, you transform that target and that audience into a community. So this is people who like your film, but they also like you. So as a person or as a crew, it could be as a person or as a business. And and then you start communicating with them more, and then you start growing that community, and then you start having more communication with that community. And with the internet, it's really easy to do that. So this is a snowball effect. It's like it just start, as I said in the beginning, we start really specific, and then we go general. But once that you are nurturing and you are communicating with this target, this audience, they become fans, and they become community. So where can you build a community? Where can you actually take care of them without losing them? And again, I encourage you not to have like several profiles for each one of the what for each one of the projects that you have, but have one profile, because that you are nurturing and you are taking care of that community. Um, it doesn't matter if your projects are a little bit different, but they're fan of you and they're fan of your work. And this is some of the places that you can actually build um, your community. And Instagram, that right now that is the social media for filmmakers, and it's really visual, and people just is there doing stories and doing lives on Instagram. So I think it's a really like trendy social media. I didn't put TikTok here, but also there's another social media that is becoming really strong. And there's another one that actually is just by invitation, by invite. It's Clubhouse. That's something really interesting as well. I'm having a couple of collaborations there in a couple of weeks. Um, and then you have the YouTube channel. If you feel like being in front of the camera and like talking about your experience and talking about like what is going on with your projects in your life, then you can have a YouTube channel. You can have a podcast. Someone mentioned podcast in the beginning. So yes, having a podcast is also a really good way to taking care of your community and being in contact with them and telling them what is going on with you and your projects. Having a website also, that's a way of having or inform yeah, telling your community what is going on with you. Um, then you have the LinkedIn. So also that's another way to have a community. You have the newsletter. So this is the envelope. So you have a database where you can send emails. I think that's the most powerful tool to actually be in contact with your community, because you have access to their emails. So that's the most, I think right now is the most important, that you have access to their intimacy, so saying, because it's a way that you can connect, and your email goes directly to their inbox. So that's a really cool thing, and actually that's something that belongs to you. Their newsletter, like having a mailing list and having your website, that's yours. Like that's your little space on the internet. The website is yours, the mailing list is yours. Everything else is not. I mean, well, maybe the podcast also can be yours. If you are building a community on Facebook or Instagram, in any moment they can go bankrupt, or they can disappear. All the information and all the things that you have done in that platform is gone. I mean, they don't belong to you. They belong to that. All the information content that you have there belongs to the social media platform that you are working on. So I encourage you to have a website. So that's the place that belongs to you, and that's the information. You can put whatever you want, and there's not actually algorithm. You can just decide, and the mailing list. They decide if they open or they don't open the email, but they are there. So it's like they're part of you're part of their contacts. And before we're gonna go to Q&A, but before we finish, I know you have a lot of questions, and I want to see your faces. It's really weird to be like behind the screen and like showing the slides. But I want to invite you to join All Film Marketing for Independent Filmmakers online course. Actually, we open card on Monday, but we have a special price for attendees tonight. So it will be amazing that you take a look at it, and if you like what you see, this is like an introduction of what you actually gonna do in that online course. Um, and yeah, so I kind of introduce you to the terms, introduce you to the things that you will do during the course. And we have a special price for like attendees tonight. So I'm really happy to share with you. We've been in the business for 5 years, and we haven't done any online course where we talk exclusively about film marketing. And I think it's really needed. And I think it's that this is the moment to actually start working in your film marketing. And actually, I had an interview on Monday where they asked me um, what 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 were the things that I thought filmmakers could do better to actually to shine and to actually get to where they want to be. And I think one of the things that you can do is having like actually do marketing for your film, because the old school, the old way that the film industry works is in a way that each one of the members in in this the chain is it's they have like a really specific way of doing things. It's like this is a film director, this is the film production, this is, but now we have the producer who directs, who writes, or we have the writer who directs, who produce is that's really, and then you do your own marketing. So I guess now when you go to a sales agent and then you tell them, I have this audience, I have this target, I already have a community, they're interested, is like you already have way of selling your film. So I want to hear what are you taking with you from this workshop. I'm gonna start sharing my screen, and thank you so much for being here. I did it really quick because I wanted you to have like a long space for Q&A, and we can have an interaction and we can talk about it. You can follow us on social media, and if you have any questions or any comments, you can just write us an email, and I am happy to connect with you. I'm LinkedIn. I am really active on LinkedIn, so if you're there, you can connect with me, and I'm happy to to contact you. So I'll stop sharing my screen, and then I can see your faces. And if you have any questions, well, I can see, I just could see the little red, the chat was like just going and going and going.
There is a question I can read for you. How would you decide whether you should DIY market your film or to partner with a company to help with your marketing? Is it budget dependent?
Yes. When you want to do the do yourself, like for example, we have, and we know filmmakers, it's really, I mean, budget is everything or it's nothing, right? So sometimes you do this film and then you have like all these collaborations, so you don't have the money. So for example, Rossscammm, what we do is like we have the option where we tell you how to do it. So we do the strategies with you, but you do all the execution. So that way, maybe you don't love marketing, but you know how to do it. So once that you have the budget in your next film, you know how you want things to be done. Because sometimes we think about I need to do marketing, but then you don't know what kind of marketing you want or what kind of or what do you like. So that's one option, doing the you do yourself. So you do the execution, and we experts, we do the strategy with you, or we have the other one that you actually like we do everything. So we have clients that they say, I mean, we have a sales agent as a client. They just sell the film, and it's like we're releasing cinemas this date. We do everything. So yeah, it depends on the terms of budget, and it also depends of yeah, I think, and the time as well. It's like if you don't have time but you have the money, then you bet the money. If you have the time but you don't have the money, then so it's like
There is another question. What do you think about publicity stunts?
the stunts. What do you mean? Do you know?
I don't know.
Um,
Like they did in Borat too.
I don't know. I don't know, like publicity sounds like the promotions, like when you see people promotion, but it's not them. I mean, it's not a real actor; it's someone else pretending to be. Yeah, that okay. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good. Those marketing actions are not cheap. I'm telling you. Like that's called guerrilla marketing, and so people or these promotions just go out there and they do things on the street. And I saw a campaign, a really cool campaign with for HBO, the HBO series that I always forget the name, and I really like it. Is this ladies with the red red cape, and they how's it called? The Handsmaid, I think it's called. Yeah. Okay. So they did a really nice promotion here in Scandinavia, where they were releasing, I think, the second season here in Denmark, and they a bunch of ladies that were like all with the cape, red cape, and they were like walking like in the city, like 12 of them. And obviously people were taking pictures, they put it on social media, they did a video, and that was, I think that was really cool. Also, I don't know if you remember the film Now You See Me. Um, yeah, okay. So we promoted that film and when I was working in Mexico, and one of the scenes in the one of the I think the last scene, you see how it's flying money. So it's like they I don't know, like it's I don't remember right now really well the film, but it's in a scene with a lot of money. So what we did, we had a premiere and we put like a thing on top of the cinema. So it's like we have the screening room, and on the top they put like a nest, a fish nest, right? And then with a bunch of dollars. So it's like dollars, $1. But it was like I think around, I don't know, like $1,000, but they were flying around when the scene came. So like the money was flying around. Some people go crazy with the real money because it was real money, but that was part of the budget of the promotion of the film. So it's like you can do like really crazy things when you have budget. And the thing is with major with these films is something that I think something that also independent filmmakers they need to learn is that you have the budget and you have this budget and you have to spend it. It's like you have 100,000 pounds, you have 100,000 euros, you have to spend it because what happens is like, well, if I save a little bit and then it's like I don't spend 100,000, but then I spend 20,000. So that's a huge difference. So it's like I have this film, I have this money, and I have to spend it, and I cannot spend it in anything else. That's what they do in a studio in the major studios. They actually check your budget and they said, did you spend all the money that you said you're going to spend? And they come and they actually come and take a look at the finance because they can do that. So when someone else is distributed, it's something else that you have to know is that you've hired someone or somebody else is distributing your film, you can go and check. It's like if you have a deal with them, it's like how do you spend the money? Like you told me you were going to spend this kind of money, so where do you spend it? And you can actually ask them.
There is another question from earlier. What advice do you have for marketing when you only have a screenplay? Is there any more news about getting involved with management companies rather than an agent, which there seems to be a shortage of?
But you have a screenplay. Okay, so you have only the script. The experience that we have had with the screenwriters, they have come to us, for example, to the slide deck with us. So we do also the design and the posters, right? So they are like interested in selling their script. But it's really important as a screenwriter, you don't send the scripts to the people because of to these people who actually are looking for films because they don't read it. So this is this is also I have something I have heard in talks and different people that we collaborate and their clients. They said I don't read scripts. I don't have the time. If I like something that they send me, like maybe a short synopsis, if they have a poster, even if it's like at the really early stage as a screen, as a script, you have like an image, kind of like communicating the feeling of the story. So probably that can catch their eye. So you need to catch their eye first, and then they will ask for the screenwriter. The screenwriter, no, for the script.
Another question, how important is hiring a publicist to marketing your film? I'm thinking very important, but I want to hear your thoughts.
I didn't hear the question, Petra. I was like looking at the chat, sorry.
How important is hiring a publicist to marketing your film?
This is a difference with a publicist, having a publicist and having a marketing, someone in charge of the marketing. The publicist is in charge of the PR campaign. The publicist is the one who is gonna get you interviews, who's gonna get you media interested in your film. Something that you can do as well. And actually, in the online course, we teach you how to do that, because that's another part of the marketing campaign that is really important for a film, especially for independent films. Like having a good public relations campaign can actually be really interesting for you and for your film. So you just need to learn how to pitch that story to press instead of pitching your idea to investors or to film festivals, or to like, then you learn how to pitch your film to press so they can choose actually to publish your film, an article, the synopsis. You can even have promotions with them. So, for example, if you have a romantic film, and I did this with one of the films that I promoted, we had a newspaper, we had a fancy luxury restaurant, and we have a film for this was around Valentine's Day. And then the restaurant gave away dinner, the newspaper gave away media a media space, and we had the film. So the newspaper gave away this dinner to their audience. So it's like we have a win-win for everyone. So my movie was mentioned in the newspaper, was promoted in the restaurant, and the restaurant got promoted in the newspaper. And they didn't, it wasn't money involved. It just was a collaboration, was a crossover promotion instead. So the difference between a publicist is someone who is going to help you with press, and someone in marketing is going to help you with the whole strategy, and the PR is inside the marketing strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
How would you decide to market domestically versus internationally? Does it depend on genre, attachments?
The way promotion works is really locally. Each country has, if this is everything that this something to do with culture. It's not the same promoting a film in the US because they have different culture than the UK, than Scandinavia, or not even Scandinavia. Scandinavia, there are 4 countries and they're different. Even though they're small, they're not the same. And Spain is different. So my experience that I've been working different countries and doing this, like culturally, like in Spain, there's some things that are unaccepted. So some examples, when I started distributing and I started promoting films in Spain, there were things, and for example, in US and Mexico, they give you for free. So if you want to do a screening, so if you want to do a premiere,
TV.
They actually borrow you the screening room. This is in Mexico and US. They borrow you. It's like, okay, I can help you because that's part of the promotion, and I will borrow you the screening room. In Spain, they actually rent it, so you have to pay for a screening room if you want to have a premiere, unless that you negotiate it. You negotiate the screening room from the beginning, then they will allow you to do a screening. So that's something cultural. So it's those, so some things that you don't know. So for example, also something different culturally is Scandinavians, they're not really show off. So they're really like low profile. They don't like to talk a lot about themselves. They have this law that is called the yellow law. And so one of my clients wants to pitch or they want to grow their business in US. But they say we don't want to show off. And Americans, it's all about showing off. I mean, it's like so that's the cultural differences between one country and the other. So when you are releasing a film, you have to be aware of the culture and the kind of people. That's why they change the titles of the films in different countries. It's not like even we want the film gets known around the world in one way, one title, but that's impossible. Like we have this um, example, like for example in Mexico, like some of the films they weren't attractive enough. The title wasn't catchy, or even they have a different like the meaning was not good. And I'm sure from US to the UK they use some words in the US that actually in the UK doesn't sound that good. So that's something cultural. That's why they changed the titles and that's why they changed the posters.
Okay, another question. I have a documentary miniseries. Any pointers for marketing those as well? So documentary miniseries, how to market that?
I mean, I think the process is the same. You need to have, I think everything starts with a good marketing strategy. Everything starts with having a good plan. And then from there, also we need to see which phase you are, like which stage is your film. It's not the same being in pre-production or being in development. And also if you have found finance or like for example, I know that if your project is picked by HBO, you cannot talk about it. I mean, it's like you actually sign a NDA where you agree not to talk about the project because it's like the project belongs to them, so you cannot talk about it. So it depends who have you sign up and who, again, starts with the marketing plan. So from there, you need to like you decide how to promote it. But the process will be the same. We'll be having the strategies and then going to the internet if you can share content. We have a client that she is in development and she wants to know what is how can she promote or how can she find actually the sales agent. So we're doing a marketing strategy with her, but in a stage that is development. So this is not the final audience. This is more the target, like who she's selling to. Like this will be sales agents and TVs and people who actually gives money to that kind. This is an animation. So also like to be specific where to find the money.
Mm-hmm. What would be your tips promoting film and raise money with scripts and teaser with today's situation, COVID pandemic?
What I always suggest when they ask me how to get to know more people to actually find the money is do online networking. So online networking, it's actually getting to know people on the internet. I'm really good at doing that on LinkedIn, and actually that's how I met Petra and Focus in December. It was like 5 minutes. I couldn't even go like more time. Now I think I should have done it more more time. But you just go and introduce yourself and have a coffee and have a virtual coffee. It's not a coffee like real coffee now, but right now it's a virtual coffee, a call. And don't be afraid of asking. I mean, I have messages on LinkedIn saying I'm looking for investors. I am not an investor, um, but it's like so. This is an advice: don't send long messages. Just connect with them, send a message and saying hi, like it's really short message, and then after that you set a call. But don't send like these long messages where you say where is your like what stage is your film, like you're looking for an ad, you have a trailer, you have an, and then you send like a bunch of links that they're not gonna read. So it's better to be short, concise, and then if they are interested, they will say yes, I want to have a call with you. So then you have a call with them.
Okay. Another question, how you guys choose films to promote?
We don't choose them, they chose us.
they come to us and we see if we can help them, or we can if we cannot help them. I mean, we don't have it's like we do this special, like we do only documentaries, or we do this kind of film. No, I mean, we love films and we welcome all of them. So nah, it's not that we choose them. As a film distributor, yes. As a film distributor, when we were a film distributor, yes, we chose the films. And actually now people just come and ask me if I do distribution. I don't do it anymore. I just do the distribution strategy, because I know how you should move, but I don't do distribution strategy. So that's where people, they're choosy. So they need to see what kind of movies they're going to sell.
Okay, another question. Can you tell us a bit about the charging structure for sales agents for a completed film documentary?
Well, the process, um, the process that it is, this is really general. But most of the times, what happens is they will negotiate with you and they will ask you for at least 50% of the film. So once that you negotiate with the sales agent, they will ask you for 50%, and then that agent negotiate with the film distributor, the TV or whatever who sell it, and they will ask 50%. So it depending how good is the negotiation, they can even ask you for the 60%. And then so they will stay with the 60%, and then they will, because the percentage goes like smaller, 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 until it gets to the film theater, to the TV, to the we this wasn't a documentary, but it's the same process. We had someone who is selling content in Mexico, and we sent some films uh, to sell. So they were interested in one, and they sent a really poor proposal. Like it was really bad. Like the producer said, "This is I cannot do it because I have to do all the material. So I have to produce all the material. I have to send it to Mexico, and I have to share that cost with you." And there was another middle. So it was us. It was someone else. So it was really a really bad deal. So they say no. So also it is okay to say no. It's like you do the cost and you balance and you say, well, this is not good. This is not good business.
Another question. If an independent producer hires you to promote their film and then it gets distribution, do you work with the distributor to market the film, or do you just let them take over?
If the distributor is open to share, I mean, sometimes the film distributors say, I have my team, I have everything, so I'll do it myself. And some other times, and I'm like, even I've been in the situation that I've been a distributor and someone else that already have their marketing. So we do the distribution only, and they do all the marketing. So if you that's also negotiable. It's not the film distributor deciding everything. They will tell you, I have this and this and this, and you'll say, okay, under my conditions, I have this person that I really like and I want to work with them. So this is that they're doing my marketing, so they're in the package. So when you negotiate those things, you can also talk about your conditions, not only what the film distributor wants, but also what you want, and that's doable. And in my experience, that also has happened.
Another question. I made a documentary. I'm submitting it into the festival through the Film Freeway, but I'm struggling getting on that board. Do you have any tips to be selected on the festivals?
Film festivals this is always tricky. It is a tricky question, because it's just there's not a shortcut. And I know that if you work with a film, this is not film distributor, but this is someone who works doing film festivals routes. Like, for example, there's a guy in Spain that he is really renowned, and he works with first A-class film festivals and short films, especially. So, but he knows everyone. So he knows the programmers, he knows, and then they have this talk where he invited all these like programmers from these first first class film festivals, and they said they actually admitted it, like, yes, it is for me as a programmer. If I get a film from this guy, it's easy for me to see it because I trust and because I know him, so I know he has good content. So I don't know how well the film platforms or the film festivals platforms are working. I mean, I don't know, but this is what I heard in this talk with these programmers. So so yeah, that's interesting.
So making friends with film programmers.
Or hire someone who is friends with the film programmers.
Okay. Mm. Do you see a market for short films?
No, I mean, it's really difficult. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's really difficult to get money. It's really, I mean, most of the times, short film, it's good for you to make to start producing and to start like showing yourself. I do believe if you know how to move yourself, if you have the right strategy, your short film can become in your next success. So it can be like, I'm doing this, but then from this I'm doing my feature film. So your short film can be that step. No, the thing I will suggest is that you don't wait for other people to come to you. It's like you go and look for that people that you want to work with and saying, I have this film, I'm doing this film, you can watch it and see where you think. Making money is really difficult. It's that, I mean, there's so much content. I mean, so much content. I'm I'm surprised there's not a bid on demand platform for short films. Or maybe it is, I don't know.
Another question: do you recommend having a marketing? So you never work with short films. Just a question. You do?
Yeah. I do marketing strategies for short films. Like, I we work just with one short film, animated short film, in December. We did only the strategy with the film director, and they're having a crowdfunding. But she had all these ideas to promote the film. It's like you do it one way and you think that's the only way to do it. And with the marketing strategy we did together, she had a lot of clarity, like what are the next steps. And the next step is for her to actually get known about animation and get bigger deals, bigger. I mean, I think that's the secret of short films. So we do work with short films.
Okay. Do you recommend having a marketing and distribution plan in place when you only have a script, or is it more typical to have the fully completed film and then reach out to distributors?
I'm gonna recommend having a marketing plan or a distributor plan when you only have the script, because that's development. And when you have the development, when you're in development stage, the script changes, and then you're also looking for a producer. So the producer also can change different things about the script. So once already is like final, the script is final, you have a producer, you are in pre-production, then I do recommend you to have the film marketing and the film distribution strategy done, because you know the film is not going to change. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, the production is already paid, so that's what you have, and that's not going to change. So now you know that that's the story. So you can start marketing the story, and then you can start thinking about getting to those film the distribution deal. Something interesting Well, I don't know if you have seen The Impossible. So this is a film with I don't remember her name. The Australian, I think she's Australian. Well, this is about the tsunami. So when my boss bought the film, he just bought the film because he saw a trailer with a big wave. So the wave was so cool that only with one teaser, they sold the film around the world. So it was a teaser of 45 seconds. So, and yeah, so it's just, I'm not saying it's easy, but it is possible.
So it was just one cool shot, basically.
But they even, I mean, obviously they don't, I think they do it in like in, huh, um, what is this? Like a swimming pool, I think. It was like a swimming pool. And then, yeah, they kind of fabricated or built the wave. So it was a huge wave, and that's the way they sold the film.
There's another question for about short films. So since short films they have limited outlet, just film festivals only basically, how to keep them alive after they run ends? Is it the Vimeo, YouTube, any other websites?
Eh, as I said, I don't know if any video on demand platform for short films, but I think if you are looking to reach your audience, if you're looking to actually grow that audience, I think YouTube is the place. Vimeo, it's good for professional purposes, but the people and the normal people, they are in YouTube. And also YouTube positions really well on Google because YouTube is part of Google. So if they're looking for that type of content, actually you can see in the search, you can see videos and also YouTube videos, no Vimeo, no anything else but YouTube. So I think if you want to go public and you see there's no more road or more chances to make some more things with your short film, then I think it's a good idea to put it on YouTube.
Another question, if I see myself in future as a creative producer or director, do you recommend to get an agent or a production company? And what's your tips?
And I don't know, well, I don't know in UK, but in Europe in general, having an agent is not that's not the normal. I mean, maybe if you're an actor, but even if you are an actor, you need to be like really kind of famous. There's not really normal in Europe that you have an agent. But if you live in US, that's that's possible. That's possible that you have an agent. With the customers that I have had, they don't have any agents. They work themselves. I mean, they they think about. I think when they start thinking about marketing, and when they're thinking about this is more a business, not like I like films, and so it's more like a business. So it's like they start thinking about marketing. They start thinking, so they're already doing their own deals, so they don't need an agent anymore. So once you know how to cut your own deals and you know how to find the people, so the agent, you don't need the agent. So I think, I mean, my tip will be learn how to build your own, like to cut your own negotiations and your own deals, and make it happen.
I think in the UK is a bit different. There is quite a lot of people that they have agents. Even it can be editors, DOPs, directors, writers, but it's usually when they get to a certain stage, you know, when they have agents. So if there is a newcomer, I don't think that, you know, it's worth to invest your time to look for an agent. I would say it's more after when you already done some films and, you know, you have something to show and represent. So that's what I said. But I know in Europe it's a bit different. Yeah, it's not really, the agent culture doesn't really work there.
Obviously, UK and US, they have huge film industries. I mean, they're huge. It's like they do all these like really high end films. So it's like I think it's needed. But once like a small industry like Denmark, there are maybe 5 film directors like famous. So I don't think they need a films agent. But
yeah, it's too small country. How do you recommend using your short film to pushing for the funds of making a feature?
um, I think the best way for it's actually looking for the people that you want to work with. So if your short film, it doesn't matter if it's a different thematic, but you are thinking about producing this feature film and then you want to find the producer, then it's like this is what I'm doing. Not when you finish, but it's like I'm doing the marketing. Like look all this noise that I'm like making around it, and I have this community, and I have this, and I have this. So it's like you kind of showing them that you already like building, or you know how to build an audience and a target, and your target, you know who is your target. So I think that's the best way for you to use your short film.
Or do you think maybe if someone has a feature film in their mind, but they don't have enough fundings to do their feature film, so they decide to make a short film, and after maybe sell the short film to, you know, distributors or so, or producers as well, as an idea for a feature film, so they can have a kind of tester of how the short film look like.
Definitely, that's another option. Like if you have a feature film in mind, but you cannot afford it, or it's really difficult, then yeah, then definitely you make a short film and then you sell it to productions. And there was this short film that actually was nominated for the Oscars last year, and last year no, 2 years ago. And after the short film was nominated for the Oscars, they didn't win. So, but they actually produced the feature film. So that it was released not 2020 but 2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, the film was produced that way. So they started with a short film, and I don't think they didn't have the money, but it was really like the short film was really well acclaimed. So it worked really well that they said, okay, we can do the feature film.
Yeah. And I think they did that also with Whiplash. They have done first short film. Damien Chazelle wasn't really well known, and after they did a feature film, which was incredibly successful.
Whiplash was a short film. Can you find it somewhere? I mean, can you find it?
Yeah, you can watch it. They changed the main actor. I mean, J.K. Simmons was in the short film and after in the feature, but the drummer was a different guy. Okay, another question. I have a film that did well in festivals and has 2 distribution offers, and I want to publicize it around the world. Can I still get a marketing strategy going in this stage?
Yes, you can. Also, then you need to also talk to the distribution. If you have the distribution offers, that means that you haven't decided who is going to, like, if you're gonna do it or not. But yes, I mean, you can do the marketing strategy, and then you can decide, also see pros and cons, which offer is it's better and what they offer. Yeah, you can definitely do it.
Okay, another, can I ask a dumb question? Would you put the whole film on YouTube to get it seen? Does that stop someone buying it in future?
Don't do that. You have a feature film and you haven't actually gone into film festivals, if you haven't like done all the things that you need to do to sell your film and actually get money, don't put your film on the internet. We had this distribution strategy with a lady. She had a documentary, and she was ready to put it on YouTube. And she said, "I have another documentary. I have a 800,000 views, and I think this one it will be successful." And it's like, don't do it. It's like first we did the plan, we did the distribution strategy. She went, actually it was really successful because she went to film festivals, it got selected, and right now the film is in a video on demand platform. So can you imagine if she shouldn't have had that distribution strategy with us, the film will be in YouTube with no money, like making no money. So yeah, definitely don't do it. Just try everything you can to actually make money with it. If you see like after a few years it's not happening, then okay, you take the decision. This is the time to get my film on YouTube. But I wouldn't do it. I don't know. It's just putting a film on YouTube. It's just I don't know. It doesn't feel right. It should be like somewhere else, no?
Another question, what percentage of budget should you allow for marketing in percentages, like 10% of production cost, or what do you think?
I recommend 20% at least. And in US, it's 50%. And even UK productions, like big productions, is 50%. 50% of the budget goes to marketing. So marketing and promotion, it's 50% in US. So as an independent, and I know 20% might sound a lot, but you will get a lot more if you invest in marketing. Even if you don't see it, uh, it is. I promise you, it pays off.
In your opinion, is it better to save a film for festivals after the pandemic restriction have been lifted and people can meet and network in person?
I wouldn't save the film. The thing about films is they get old really fast, and it's something that I don't. I mean, I say it, but it's also my clients say that we work a lot with film distributors and film agents, and even the film agents, as I said, if you show me a film with more than 2 years, I will say why this hasn't been bought. Like something's wrong with the film, so you need to show it. Like as soon as you finish, as soon as the post production done, it's better that you send it to film festivals. Even though you're not, I mean, it is a shame that you cannot network the same way that we used to, but films need to go on. And I think right now there's a chance that more people can see your film because there's a lot of big big films. They're not going anywhere. I mean, they're like saving and also they're not producing. So what is happening? Actually, I heard this from someone from Nordic Films. I don't know if you know this. This is a huge exhibitor in not the huge, but the most important in the Scandinavia. So, and they said there's a huge gap, and it's gonna be a huge gap in the following years because we're not producing the way we should be producing. So there's a gap. It's gonna be a gap in the next years for really good content. So if you have a film and you are ready to promote it, you even maybe have the chance to get picked because they don't have content.
What's your take on proof concept as marketing strategy?
Proof concept. Can you elaborate in that?
Orlando, maybe if you can unmute yourself and explain.
A proof concept is basically you pick up 3 scenes from your project, whatever, like you don't have the budget to do like the full feature or the short film. You pick 3 or 4 scenes that reflect whatever the storyline is, and then you shoot that instead of the whole project. Or it's not a teaser, it's not a trailer, it's just a sample of your work. That's all it is, a proof of concept. Well, that's what we call in Canada.
Okay, so that's the way this film The Impossible got sold around the world. So they actually that was a scene, only one scene, like 45 seconds, I think. It wasn't really long. So yeah, it can be done. It has to be, but it has to be really good. And something I didn't mention about this particular example, that also they have a really like eight actors, actresses. Like the main characters, there were Naomi Watts, I think it's Naomi Watts, and it was this, I forgot the name. This is a UK actor. Yeah, okay, so they're like really famous. So they're really famous. So it's like, okay, I have this scene, it will look this way, but then I have this and this and this that they already signed up. And that's why they do a lot when you're doing your sales or your pitch deck, that you have, okay, that you have the actors that you think they might be interested, but they also present the letter of intention letter, I think it's called intention letter, where they say, yes, I am interested in participating in this project, blah blah blah. So then another story that I know, and that's why I think that's one of the reasons I love the film industry, because it works in a really strange way sometimes. Um, there was this film where the main actor, the main actor read the script, and he said, yes, I like the script. And then that's how the film was funded. Like that was the film was actually sold, because they have this actor that was really famous. So maybe the film wasn't like, the film was independent, uh, but then it got sold because they had this actor. So this like a really famous actor. So if someone say yes to your film, or you show them this concept, I think it is possible. You need to have good cast. That's, yeah. I think that's the secret, probably.
So one more question. Is it okay to put your film online through a paywall?
A paywall would be like putting in your website, and then you have you like, then they pay, right? That would be
I think
the case.
if Migdal, if you can unmute yourself and explain.
Yeah, I'm putting it online through your own website through a paywall. So people, they pay perhaps a monthly subscription fee for your movies, or they pay for an individual movie that you've made on your website.
Yeah, definitely. If you're ready to show your film, uh, another case that we were working on, it was a horror film. They had like the horror film, I don't know why, but it has a big fandom around the world. So they find the film. So what this producer, in particular producer, they wanted to do was to actually have an online, have a website, and then have the film there, because they wanted to show it like in other, like especially US, because I think that's a big market there, and they wanted to do it that way. So they have the film, and they have some merchandising, and you can buy the film, or rent it, or have the film, and also like some merchandising. If you have more films, I think that's nicer, because then they don't pay only for one film, they can see the rest of the films.
Okay, that was a last question. So thank you very much, Rosa.
I'm going to send if you want to take a look at the online course that we have, this is the landing page. So you're welcome to take a look. It's gonna be like early bird until Monday. So if you're thinking about starting promoting your film, and actually doing it the right way, having the strategy together, I think that's a great way to start and learn. So,
maybe it would be good to know when they do this course, can they work with their films that are already, if they have films ready to distribute, or can they bring their own like projects?
the online courses it's already done. So we have videos where we do like instructions. The cool part is that we're gonna have 3 sessions live, like kind of like this one, where we're gonna bring the different films. So if you have a film and you have like really specific, at that stage you will have already your marketing plan. So it's like, okay, I have a marketing plan. I have these questions, and I have it. This is my target. What do you think? So the cool part is like you learn the theory in these videos, but then we have 3 sessions where we actually gonna put to work what you actually learn in those videos. It's like, okay, you learn how to make a marketing plan, but then you have to tell me what you're gonna do in that marketing. Like, what are you doing now? It's really easy to create as a creative, but it's sometimes just to execute and just go to the next level and do the next step. That's where I enter, and I kind of push. I'm not kind of push. I push completely.
And one more thing, people are asking, because you said that whoever went to this webinar, they will get a special discount for the.
Actually, nobody else has the link, so it's only you and my community who has done previous courses.
I see.
So right now you pay around, I think it's 300 euros. It's gonna go up on Monday to 370. So it depends, because depending where you are, probably you pay taxes, you don't pay taxes. It's just without taxes it's 250. So you shouldn't pay taxes if you're outside Europe. But now with the UK out of the European Union, I don't know if they pay or not pay. So the platform will tell you how much they have to pay.
Yeah. Okay, so they just need to click on the link.
You can just watch what we have there, the content, and also what it's included as a bonus.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Rosa. That was really informative. I think it seems everyone enjoyed it very much.
Inviting me, it's so nice, and I'm so passionate to talk about this topic. It's like I can I just can keep talking and talking. And thank you so much for having me and for all these questions. I mean, it's amazing.
Lovely. And also, just as I mentioned before, I will create a forum for all your guys who came today, so you can connect and chat about things. Because now when we finish the Zoom, it will all disappear. Okay, so thank you very much for coming, and bye-bye.
It's because I saw someone who sent me a private message. I couldn't read it, so I'm gonna just leave you my email. So wherever, if you have any question, or you have like something that you send me here, because we're leaving and I'm not gonna see it again. So this is my email. So if you feel you have any question or I can help you with anything, please reach out. I am happy to help. And thank you again for being here and for being connected and stay with me, with us until the end.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.